All right, we are live. What's going on, Lions fans? Hope you all enjoyed this wild card weekend. It was kind of hard watching the Seattle Seahawks in that game against the San Francisco 49ers, knowing that it could have or should have even been us. But here we are, a couple of days after that. And today we are talking free agency and we are talking early draft talk. All right, son, let's start with, I think we should start with free agency. And I think the first place we can start is the Lions free agency. Some of their top free agents. Now, I was reading an article that was giving the Lions top six free agents that they could be looking to bring back. And I want to get your thoughts on each one of them because that's going to lead us into our draft talk of who the Lions can sign of our own and who do we let go and who can we bring in. So let's start with number six, defensive tackle Isaiah Buggs. Let's get right into it. Give me your thoughts on Buggs. Should we keep him or should we let him go?
Oh yeah, no, I definitely think we need to keep Isaiah Buggs. Uh, Honestly, he's a name that slowly crept on more and more in the season. He's really had consistent play. Um, as far as I notice, he's not a guy that gets too many stupid flags and things like that. No, I definitely think they need to bring him back just to just to be a good interior lineman.
Yeah, maybe somebody to keep some depth on that line. And I agree with you. Those last, I'm gonna say 4 to 5 games of the season. I mean, he really showed out and showed up. And we need as much help as we can get, especially on the interior part of the line. Now, some people could say, yeah, but even with those guys, your run defense was kind of raggedy. But I'm with you. I'm gonna give that one the thumbs up that that's a guy that we should keep. Let's see who number five is on this list. Number five is linebacker Alex Anzalone. What's your thoughts on Alex? Do we bring him back for 2023 or do we bid him adieu? Tell him thank you and bid him adieu.
Yeah. Uh, See, if Angeloni, if he was on his stuff where, like if he wanted like for some reason if he wanted like a bigger contract or something, or even the same contract, because we've heard the news that he was willing to take a lesser contract. I don't think he's
Right.
worth whatever he's getting paid right now, just because he's not good in the pass game at all. But like this article says right here, it's more important than football. Sometimes it's about being a leader as well, and taking a leader like that off the team can actually impact the team more than what you would think. So
Right.
if he can come back for the right price, I mean, then I think they should definitely bring him back. At the very least, he can help in the run game.
Yeah, and you hit it on the head there. I think that if he can come back at the veterans minimum or something like that, I think that he could be he could still be a good help on the team. And I agree with him being the leader. Sometimes you do want to keep some leaders around. Okay, let's see who they have for number four on our list. Number four, defensive end John Kaminsky. We saw John Kaminsky get in there. We saw him make some plays. We saw him be a decent complement to Hutchinson and some of the other DNs. What is your thoughts on John Kaminsky?
Man, he was pretty good actually. I guess I didn't
Right.
realize that he played defensive end. I thought he played on the inside for some reason, but I guess not. Um, I don't know. It's hard, it's hard for me to say that like these guys deserve to be cut or anything. But I mean, if the
Right.
Lions get their hands on a Will Anderson, I don't. I mean, they already have Pascal, Hutchinson, Anderson. So I
Both
mean,
the core brothers.
yeah, I forgot. Yeah. So
Hmm.
I mean, but then again, like he's pretty decent though. So I don't know. But no, I think they could let him go, especially if they are planning on getting a defensive end. To be honest.
Right, right. And I'm with you. We love our Lions, and these guys all play so hard. So it's hard to say a guy should be cut, but let's just be very honest. I mean, all of these guys are not coming back. As much as we hate it, somebody is going to be left out. I mean, it happens every year for every sport. Somebody's going to get left off. Let's move to number three. The number three is safety Deshaun Elliott. What do you think?
Oh yeah, no, you got to bring him back. I
Yes.
mean, behind maybe no, Deshaun Elliott might have been the best player on their defense. I mean, I guess I don't really know who is really better than him on defense. It's not like Jeff. I mean, I think he's still better than Kirby Joseph just because he's a little older, he's a little bigger, and he hits harder.
Right.
So no, I think you definitely have to bring him back because he's a starter caliber corner.
I agree. The only reason I could see them not bringing Deshaun Elliott back is, and he's not old. That's the thing, is that if they really want Kirby Joseph to have that spot, but he's not old. I mean, Deshaun Elliott is like 25, I want to say. So it's not
Yeah,
like
he is.
he's
I didn't
even
know that.
right. Yeah, he's young. So it's not even like he's down, going downhill. Anzalone's a little older than that. So I think that would be a good spot, definitely a good player to bring back. Number two, wide receiver DJ Chark. We signed him in 2022 to a show me deal, a 1 year deal. I'm gonna be honest, he did not have the season that I thought he was gonna have. When we did our first show of the season, I said that DJ Chark was gonna have a sneaky good season. I said he's gonna have something like 76 receptions and 7 touchdowns. I don't think he came close to that. But even with that being said, what do you think about bringing him back, or do we let him go?
I totally agree with you. When we saw him with the Jaguars, I was thinking this dude low key might be like that Kenny Galladay type, like that sleeper that pops off.
Right.
But still, even then, I would say towards the later part of the season, especially when he started getting to December, he did start making some good grabs, especially
Yes.
when Josh Reynolds started to fall off. So because he's so tall and because he's so fast, I do think they
Right.
need to bring him back just because, they're actually kind of deep at receiver now. I mean, they have James.
They are.
Well, they're deep at receiver, but he's their only tall and super fast receiver. Like he's like kind of like a Mike Evans, kind of, but he's probably a little skinnier than him. But I mean, they have Jameson Williams and Amon-Ra St. Brown, so no, I think they need to keep him because Jameson Williams and St. Brown are kind of short. I mean, short compared to him.
Short
So
compared to him, yeah, yes,
yeah,
he is a long link, long rangy receiver. I think that you could, let like Josh Reynolds. I think that's a guy that you could let go to make room in that receiver room for DJ Chark, especially if he's willing to take a decent deal. And then the number one free agent that they talked about the Lions keeping or bringing back is running back Jamal Williams. What's your thoughts on Jamal Williams?
yeah. I mean, yeah, he was real solid. I don't see the reason that they would let him go to another team. But yeah, I mean, yeah, he was real solid. I mean, I don't know. He doesn't like I don't know. I know he had 16 touchdowns, but it's not like I mean, like I would rather keep Deshaun Elliott than him to be honest.
Okay.
But no, I it's hard because really all six of these free agents aren't really people that you want to let go. So yeah, I think they need to resign Jamal Williams too.
And not to mention, you said something earlier about Anzalone on the offensive side of the ball. Jamal Williams is probably the leader on the offensive side of the ball.
Right.
He probably is the guy that stands out, and stand outs when it comes to being a leader and keeps the team ticking. And sometimes it's worth it to bring a guy back just on that basis. So let's talk about. So I can't find the article I read, but I was looking up an article before we got started, and in the article it was talking about potential Lions free agents. So, oh, sorry. It was talking about potential Lions free agents, and they gave three because before we talk about the draft, even though we're a month away from the combine, if they can sign one of these guys, it would change the draft picks because I'll just give you a heads up. I'm looking at the first 3 rounds, the first 5 picks we have, which are in rounds 2 in the first round, 2 in the second round, 1 in the third round. So these are some potential free agents that they're saying the Lions may be targeting. Number one is tight end Mike Gesicki out of Miami. The article I read talked about how even though the Lions set a record with those 3 tight ends that they was using, that now that Hockenson is gone, it still would help. It would still be in the Lions' best interest to get a solid number one receiver instead of 3 guys that you're kind of making number ones. The number 2 player is defensive tackle Jaron Reed. He's right now he plays for Green Bay. He would be a solid upgrade to the Lions because he is a good interior lineman, and he can definitely help us stuff the run and stop the run, which is something the Lions had a problem with. And the third one was cornerback Jamel Dean out of Tampa Bay. Out of those 3 guys, if we can only sign one, who would you want? Who would you want us to sign?
Oh, the cornerback,
Okay.
Jamel
Yep.
Dean.
Yes.
Yeah, he's 6'1". I mean, he's 205, so he probably can come up in the run. I'll be honest, I haven't seen too much of him play? Is he the number one corner, or does he play nickel?
He is probably, if he's not their number one, he's probably their number two in
Okay.
Tampa Bay.
Yeah, no, I think they probably have to go with the corner just because with the tight end thing, you know, you can really never have enough receivers, like you know how we talked about the Randy Moss situation. But it's just like if they're gonna get a tight end, like they just traded T.J. Hawkinson, so I don't. It's like the line, like I don't know, like if they went to go get a tight end, it would like be like, well, then why'd you guys trade T.J. Hawkinson for? But and who was the second guy you said?
Jaron Reed, the defensive tackle out of Green Bay.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, and that would be a good one
Jaron
too
Reed.
because that's a big deal. I mean, but I think they definitely need to go with defense though. I mean, even if it's a corner or a defensive tackle, but no, if they could get Jamel Dean, that would be a big help because they need any corners they can get. We saw them get torched all season. It didn't matter who was out there. So
Okay. Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. And that's who I picked. Out of the three, I can understand why they're saying the Lions can target those guys. If you get Gesicki, you get a veteran tight end instead of getting a young tight end when you just traded Hawkinson. If you can get Reed, you get a guy to go right in the middle with Aleem McNeil who can help stuff, you know, the middle and stop the runs. And if you go with Dean, in my opinion, if you go with Dean, it takes away the reason to draft a cornerback young. So with that being said, let's talk about the draft. Now, we've been seeing a lot of people talk about the Lions. A lot of people talk about who the Lions could or might take in the draft. You know, we see mock drafts. Everybody has different mock drafts. But what I did was I kind of looked at the top 100 prospects and I figured that they're going to get 5 guys out of here. So let's start with the first round. For some of these, son, I have multiple guys there just in case someone isn't there. So let's start with that 6th pick in the first round. I have
okay.
them taking Jalen Carter. Now, of course, that's just a dream of mine because Jalen Carter is probably going to be gone unless the Lions move up two spots, maybe even 3 spots. He's probably
Yeah.
not going to be there at 6. So who I have behind him is if Jalen Carter is gone, and he probably will be, the next guy I have is Miles Murphy, that the defensive end out of son, it just slipped my mind where he played at.
I'm
Where
gonna
did Miles Murphy?
say I am not good with all them.
Yeah, it literally slipped my
Play for
mind.
Clemson though. Clemson
Clemson, is
has
it?
two good. They got two good defensive linemen, don't they? Don't they have a defensive tackle too?
He's my next guy.
Okay.
So thank you. I thought it might have been Clemson, but I didn't want to misspeak. So I have Miles Murphy. Now, if people are wondering why, if people are saying, well, didn't James Houston do great in those 7 games? Yes, he did. But Miles Murphy is a dog defensive end. And even though I would rather have a defensive tackle, if he's there, the Lions may want to think long and hard about taking him because now you would have him and Hutchinson, and they would be a problem coming off the end, and the other guys can really be your fill-in players. And my third choice for that pick is Brian Breezy. He's also from Clemson. That's the D tackle from Clemson. He's the second best D tackle in this class behind Carter because he can come in and stuff. You know, he has a strong swim move, strong hands, and he can come in and stuff that run. What did you think about the guys I picked, or do you have somebody else in mind with that 6th pick?
No, see, honestly, I can almost agree with that just because the 6th pick can be a little too early to take a corner because we know there's not a Sauce Gardner. Like, you know, last year we knew that Sauce Gardner was going to be good. At least we knew he was going to be worth the top. Like, I wouldn't be mad if they took him in the top 6, but there's not a guy like that this year. So I agree with you. I think they should definitely be going for an edge or a lineman. I think that's what they should do. And then maybe they can but we'll talk about the 16th pick in a minute.
Okay. So we're there. So more than likely we're talking Murphy or Breezy. With the 18th pick, I have them taking Joey Porter Jr., the corner out of Penn State. And if they couldn't get him, there was a corner out of, I believe it might have been Oregon, who I saw, who the Lions
Christian
could target. His
Gonzalez.
name was Christian
Gonzalez.
Thank you. Christian Gonzalez. Am I right with the school? What school is he from?
Yeah, no, it's Oregon.
Oregon. Thank you. Okay,
Yeah.
good. I got it. Yes, he was my second choice there. So I figure if they don't get a guy like Jamel Dean, I have them taking a corner with their 18th pick because they have to get somebody on the other side, opposite of Okudah. What do you think about the 18th pick?
See, I know I've said this name for a while. I keep talking about this dude Kelly Ringo from Georgia,
Right.
but now I'm hoping maybe he can be a sleeper. Maybe he'll fall to them in the second round. I don't think he will. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he's 6'2", 210 pounds, and he runs a four
Yep.
three five. So it's like I don't know. I just feel like he'd be good, but it seems like he's not as high up on draft charts as I thought he was. So maybe he'd be able to fall later. Um, then again, yeah, I mean, and they could go with Anthony Richardson with that 16 pick, I
Right.
guess, if they wanted to. But I really think you have to go with defense. I agree with you. I think they have to get one of them corners. And you're right. We really need to look at the combine so we can see, so we can be able to do more research on these corners. I feel like we'll have a more accurate listing of the top 5 corner prospects.
Right, I agree with you. Okay, so we both kind of thinking the same thing. We're thinking lineman with that top pick, possible corner or quarterback, even with that 18th pick.
Yeah, or always a linebacker, even though I don't know if it's been a big year for linebackers though. I don't
It's
think
not
it
that
has.
hasn't been a huge year. So with that, let's move to the second round. Now, their second round picks, I forget the number, but their first second round pick is kind of like mid second round. And this is what I have. I have them taking either running back Blake Corum out of Michigan or Cam Jones, the linebacker out of Indiana. And the reason why I picked Cam Jones is because Cam Jones, from the film I saw, he's a violent downhill linebacker. He's the type of guy that can stop the run, because we did talk a lot about how sometimes running backs got to the second level and they would either get around or they would get right with our linebackers and still get 2 or 3 more yards. So that's who I have with that top second round pick. What do you think?
See, there's one thing about Blake Corum. I would actually agree with that, but as Michigan fans, a lot of them boys are actually going back to Michigan because of this NIL deal thing. So Blake Corum he's not going in the draft this year. He's actually going back to college.
Oh, wow.
And I know a lot of people, because I didn't realize that either, because I was thinking at first,
Mhm.
I like Swift, but we saw Blake Corum, so I knew
Yes.
he was good. But no, I agree with you though. I think the Lions need to go ahead and get a linebacker with that pick. But if there is a running back like a Blake Corum there, then they definitely should go with them, because it's really like how the Vikings went with Randy Moss even when they already had receivers. I mean,
Exactly.
if there's a good skill player, you
Exactly.
have to go get him.
Yeah, I would agree. But you saying that you already hearing that Blake Corum maybe he is going back to Michigan?
Yeah, I think quite a bit of the juniors from Michigan are going back because
Wow.
there was a good corner that Michigan had. I don't think he's going in the draft either. It has to do with NIL deals. I'm pretty sure.
That reminds me of something I wanted to say. It has nothing to do with the Lions, but I heard that C.J. Stroud from Ohio State, he finally declared for the draft, but they said that he thought long and hard, and they put an emphasis on long and hard
Wow.
because they said that he was going to get a mad money from an NIL deal to stay at Ohio State, and that Ohio State fans actually were saying a week ago that dude, he's coming back. He's staying here. So that NIL money must be good, because these dudes are, gonna stay in school and just live like kings
Yeah,
on the NIL money.
and that's what people don't understand. People are like saying, "Oh man, he's not going to make as much as he would on a rookie contract." But dude, he's the man at Ohio State, and he can go get his degree while making $6 million.
Thank you.
Like, I
Right.
think he can wait
Yes.
another year and take the 6 mil or whatever
And
the
take that
NIL
six
deal
mil.
would be. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Okay. Well, so I guess I'm gonna go with Cam Jones then, because you told me that Blake Corum is not coming out. So
yeah, I don't think
and
he is.
then with that second round pick, I have them taking Keanu Benton, defensive tackle out of Wisconsin, 6'4", 315.
Okay,
That's if they don't take a D tackle. Let's say they take Miles Murphy in with that number 6 pick in the first round. Benton would be a decent defensive tackle, because we have to get some defense in there.
right. Oh, I can agree with that.
Okay,
But you said
good.
he's from Wisconsin, right?
He is, yes,
Okay, yeah.
from Wisconsin. Okay, and then we have a third round pick that's like a top 18 pick. I had them taking Andrew Voorhees, a guy that seems like he's been in college for a long time. Andrew Voorhees is a guard out of USC, 6'6", 325. And I have them in the third round because, as you and I have talked about before, I do think that the Lions need to get a right guard, a dog right guard, because I like Evan Brown, but he's not a starting interior lineman in the NFL. He played good for us, but he's not a starter. And I think that we need a starter on that line. What do you think about the Lions in their 3rd round pick?
No, I can agree with that. I'm looking at this big boy right now.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Yeah. No, if the Lions can go ahead and get him, I think, because you're saying for Haloti Vatai, right?
Yes, because Vitae was hurt all year. I mean, son, did he even play in the regular season?
I don't think so.
And if he did, he got hurt in that game against the Eagles. I mean, I literally didn't see him all season.
No, I mean, he's 6'6", 325, and he runs a 5 flat 40. So no, I think they should get him.
Yes. Might as well be the best offensive line in the NFL. So that's where we stand on that. Now, listen, everybody, this is our first of many, because we're going to do this over and over and over, because before you know it, it's going to be the combine. And before you know it, some of these guys that we just talked about are either going to go higher or they're going to go lower, or free agency is going to get started and the Lions are going to fill a couple of these spots and they may not need someone there. So we don't know how it's going to shape out, but that's kind of how we see free agency going. Our free agents, other free agents, and the draft. Did I miss anything? Is there a free agent that the Lions could sign that maybe I didn't bring up?
Oh, no, like you said, I mean, it's still really, the season's not even over yet. So, I feel like we have to let some more stuff develop. I mean, like we talked about Jalen Ramsey and a few other people, but, we don't know that for sure yet. But once that stuff opens up more, I feel like we should definitely talk about it.
Okay. Oh, good. Yes. Yes, you're right. We'll talk about that another time. Yeah, Jalen Ramsey, if they can trade and get him, and then the cornerback discussion will be over. What we should do. So I like it. Okay. Well, we won't keep you long this tonight, Lions fans. We just want to get some early Lions talk with you. Like we said, we're going to try to do some shows periodically to keep this thing going until the regular season starts again. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe. Speaking of subscribe, and down in the low right hand corner, you can click the subscribe button and hit the like button, and give us some comments. Give us some comments on what you think. Who do you think the Lions should go after in free agency? Who do you think they should go after in the draft? And don't forget, I know you listening and watching this on YouTube, but we are also on Spotify, so you can listen to it on the go. Am I forgetting anything else, son?
Oh yeah, you can check us on TikTok too with the same username as us on YouTube, the Lions Den Podcast.
All right. Well, then, with that being said, I think that's all we got tonight. Peace.